welcome back to my channel. I had a baby! Finally, right? So today I'm going to do my birth story video. So this is going to be telling everything that happened. I know I posted a vlog of it, but this time I can like talk through everything that happened and give more details. Little Kane's right here. I'll show you a little bit. Yeah. We're going to do his 1 week update next because he just turned a week old. Craziness. But let's get started. So, last Thursday, my sister's here in town. I'm sure you saw her in the last few videos. And so she's been trying to get my labor induced, not induced, but hurried along. And so she had me running the park last Thursday, up and down the stairs, doing stair steppers on the benches, and what else? Oh, burpees and bouncing on the yoga ball. So I was doing all of this all day long. We were so tired. We went around our neighborhood walking, lunges, jumping jacks, everything you could imagine to induce labor. And that night, so Thursday night, about 10 o'clock at night, he was moving a lot, like big movements, and it was kind of different than what he was normally moving. And previous to this, I've been having like some things going on downstairs, no blood or anything, but just some extra fluids. So I knew it was coming. So 10:45 came and I went to bed, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed because I was getting a little crampy, but I had been getting crampy before. And so I laid in bed and I was getting these cramps every 3 minutes. And I'm just laying here like, just go to sleep, just go to sleep. It's fine, it's nothing, it's nothing. And then it wouldn't stop. Every 3 minutes for 40 seconds. So I called my sister up here. I'm like, I think we need to go to the hospital. This is not normal. Which is so weird because you're supposed to go to the hospital when you're like 7 to 10 minutes apart. That's what they told me. But mine went right to 3. And so I had like no break. Or no like ease transition. It was like straight to the point. So we ended up going to the hospital, my husband and my sister, and then some friends came over and watched the kids while we were there. And we went to the hospital. My sister parked the car. We went in, went to triage. Could not even walk by this point. Like, the pain was intense. And it was coming so fast, and I kept saying no, 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 no the whole time because it hurt so bad. I don't know what I was thinking it wasn't gonna hurt. I don't know. I guess I didn't put any real thought into contractions, but it hurt so entirely bad. Anyway, so we get into triage and they check me. Mind you, while I'm sitting in triage, I'm vomiting over the side of the bed because the pain hurt, or the pain was so bad. I'm contracting and vomiting at the same time. It was a great thing. And they didn't have anything, and I told my husband, I'm gonna throw up. And he ran to the bathroom and grabbed the biggest trash can that they had. And of course, there's me vomiting everywhere. So they came in and checked me, and the first girl, it was just a nurse, I believe. She said I was only 1.5. She's like, well, this isn't even active labor. Like, she was going to send me home. And I was like, I'm not going home, vomiting and this much pain. No, thank you. So they had us wait there a little bit longer. They're monitoring me, and I was having contractions consistently. So they were like, oh, but we don't have any rooms, because I guess everybody decided to have a baby that day. And so we waited in triage for a while, still vomiting. Then the midwife came in and checked me, and I was at 3. So I was changing, which was good. So they're like, well, I guess we could admit you. If we give you an epidural, we have to admit you. Okay. Isn't this it? I'm not going home. So they ended up taking so long. So long. And it's not their fault. It's just because there was a million people. And it, by this time, was 1 o'clock in the morning. By the time all this had happened. And they had given me an IV. And in the IV, they put in... what did they put in? Fentanyl. Which I was telling them, like, isn't that what they put in certain drugs? But whatever. Anyhow, so it worked for like 20 minutes. And in that 20 minutes, I was still in triage. So as soon as they moved me to a room, it had worn off. And I was like, okay, let's get an epidural. What are we doing? So the epidural anesthesiologist came in. And I was hunched over, trying to arch my back, not arch, round my back. Apparently my back is very tight, and my spine is very tight, the spine muscles, the tendons, let's go with that. Between each bone is really tight, so she had a really hard time, and it took like 40 minutes for her to get it in, and I was having contractions, of course. And so I'm bent over and contracting and can't move because you're getting your spine touched. Anywho, so she gets it in, thank God, and it was like instantly my whole back was like on, like water was streaming down. It was interesting. I would say that part hurt more than when I got a spinal with Mila for my C-section. I think it was because she couldn't get into my spine, so it was more things going on. I don't know exactly what was going on back there, but I'm assuming more things than just an in and out type situation. Anyhow, so I get the spinal, or I get the epidural, lay down. Life is great. Life is great. If you are ever debating an epidural, people, get it. You don't have to be a superwoman and do it naturally. It's okay, because that pain is like no other pain I've ever felt my whole entire life. And I was only 3 centimeters, people. 3. I could not imagine being any more. I couldn't even walk. Couldn't even like function, vomiting, all of that. So I got the epidural, which was amazing. After that, life was glorious. Legit glorious. Me, my sister, my husband, we were just talking. We were watching TV. We should have, but nothing crazy. Like, so amazing. And then they would come in every 3 hours to check me, so then I would be out of 5. And then once I was out of 5, they broke my water, which I was thinking was about to be like this ginormous gush, just super dramatic, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all. There was a little bit of blood in it, and so she was a bit concerned, but nothing too concerning, she said. So they were just keeping an eye on it. So they broke my water, and then I started feeling a little bit of the contractions right here in the front, and that was like 2 hours after I started feeling contractions in the front. So they sent the anesthesiologist back in, and they gave me something else. I'm not sure exactly what else they gave me. Little Baba? No. They put something else in my IV or my spinal. I'm not sure. Whatever it was, it did the trick. And then they came back to check me right after, and I was at a 10 already. So after my breaking my water, went really, really fast. So by this time we went in about 12-ish, I would say. They admitted me around 1-ish. By this time it was like 11, no, more like 1. So we're already there about over 12 hours. And, what am I saying? 12 hours. And so after I get to 10, so I guess it's closer to 4 by that time, 4 o'clock. I have to wait because my doctor has to do a C-section. So I waited because I wasn't in any pain and I didn't feel like I needed to push, and I could still feel my legs by this point, which was still good. I felt them the whole time. I could pick my bottom up and move from side to side. They did use the peanut ball to help him come down, which was amazing. And it worked. So when I was 10, so I was 10 for the hour, and then that helped him come down on his own more, so I didn't have to push as much. Once my doctor came, we did some practice pushes. I pushed for about 45 minutes in total. So I'd say about 40 minutes with the nurses, maybe a little less. It didn't seem like that long. And then the doctor came in, and those were our final pushes. But while I was pushing, and if anyone out there is going into this, I didn't know when you're pushing is you want to keep your bottom down. And every time I would push, my bottom would come up. It was so strange. So keep your bottom down, because every time I would keep my bottom down, things were happening. So my sister had one leg and my husband had one leg, and the nurse was there seeing what was going on. So I got him all the way to where the top of his head was coming out, and then the doctor came in. They gave me a mirror so I can see. At first I was like, no mirror, I don't want to see. And then once the doctor came in, I was like, okay, maybe I'll see, because everybody was like, oh my gosh, there's his hair, you know, the whole shebang. So I'm pushing, 3 pushes for each contraction, and I didn't feel the urge to push at all. Like, no part of me was like, okay, push, like, I can't stop pushing. No. It was just like, oh, you're about to have one, let's do it. In between contractions, we were laughing, joking. It was amazing because it was so calm and so uneventful. So I'm pushing. I have the mirror, so I see him coming out. And that, like, using the mirror made me, like, push harder. Because I had to get him under my pubic bone. And that's what I was most scared about. Because he could get stuck. And so I push, out pops his head. The nice part about what my doctor did with us is she left, this is so TMI, but that's okay, because you're all here to hear the good stuff anyways. She leaves the head out, so my body stretches on its own, and then she'll deliver the rest of the body. I'm sure it's nothing but a matter of seconds, but it's not pull him right away. So I pushed his head out, and then I look up. I'm like looking in the mirror because I got his head out, and she's like just pulling out his body. It was the craziest thing. I thought for sure I'd have to like push out his body at least a little bit, but I didn't. She just pulled out his body, put him on top of me. He was screaming his brains out, screaming. But they put him on my chest, and he stayed there for over an hour, which was pretty amazing. With Mila, obviously, they took her away, so I didn't get to see her much right after. But with him, he was like on my chest for a whole entire hour. And all of us, of course, were taking pictures and videos. And while he was on my chest, they did the delayed cord clamping. And my husband also got to clip the cord. Cut the cord. And then after that, she pulled out my placenta and had it in a little bucket and showed us, and my cord, my marginal cord that I've been talking about for like the last 9 months, was actually on the side. She had thought, well, according to the ultrasounds, it just looked like it was scooted over, but it was actually like on the complete side of it, which was super interesting to see. I wish I could have taken a picture and I could have showed you, because it was so weird. Huge placenta and then like the cord. But they did that, and then what she did for me, which is super nice, and I really appreciated it, is she scraped out my uterus. And if you know my history, I've had retained placenta with my first, and that means that a piece of the placenta was left in. I was hemorrhaging for 2 months, had to do the D&C, blah blah blah. So this time she scraped everything out, everything. And if you ask my sister, I'm going to make a video with her because she watched the whole thing. My husband, on the other hand, did not, which I don't blame him. There was a lot of things going on there. But my sister was like watching the whole thing. So I'd like to get her input on it too. But she was scraping everything out. Scrape. And then she brought in another doctor, and that doctor came in with the ultrasound, and they ultrasounded my stomach to make sure nothing was left. And then she did another scraping, which was amazing for recovery especially. So after she did all the scraping, she had to do a few stitches internally that dissolve, thank God. So I tore 3, I want to say she said they were cuts. I'm not sure what she called them. Cuts, tears, I'm not sure. They were 2 were internal. My sister knows, I don't know what it is. 2 are internal and 1 external? I don't know. They all dissolve, 1st degree, and it really could have gotten a lot worse, and I'm very thankful that I just cut or tore or whatever I did the most minimum you can, besides not tearing or cutting. But so that has been very nice for recovery as well. A little painful because there are 2 on, 1 on each side and then 1 at the top. You can only imagine where that is. So it wasn't too bad, and it could have been a lot worse. But so she did all that business, and then they left the catheter in till the next day, which is interesting. And they did this because they wanted my uterus, I want to say. No, my bladder? My uterus. Something to heal first. Wow, I should really know this. They wanted something to heal first, and then they were going to take out my catheter. I don't remember what that was. Wow. So they did that, and then I was good. We sat in postpartum, not postpartum, labor and delivery, just me, my sister, and my husband, forever, and it was so nice. Like the overall, looking back, the overall experience was amazing. Amazing. Like joking in between, so casual. The doctor, who I absolutely love, she got to be there, and if I were to have the C-section, she wasn't going to be there. And it just so happened that I went into labor and she worked all day Friday at the hospital, so that really worked out in my favor. And so she got to do everything, and she already knows everything about me, so that's really a plus. But everything was so calm. The baby doctor that was there was joking, taking pictures for us, videos for us. We could not videotape him coming out because it was part of their rules. But once he was out, we could, obviously, we did the videotaping. And just overall, just so calm, relaxed, uneventful, which is what I needed, because with my first, it was too many events happening. So with this one, it was really nice just to be textbook, kind of, per se. So after that, then they moved us into postpartum, and we were there for 48 hours. Yeah, 2 days. He was jaundiced, but I'll get into that with my 1 week update, I guess. But yeah, he was jaundiced, so we had to stay a little bit longer for his levels to keep them down, even though they weren't high to begin with. They just wanted to be precautious, so that's good. That's what I got the gist of this hospital, is they just want to be sure. Just like with my marginal, doing the extra testing, same with his jaundice, just a bunch of stuff just in case, which is good. So that is my labor and delivery. It was great. I would say the worst part of my whole life was the contractions, and if you are ever debating an epidural, do it, because you don't have to be in that much pain. Your baby's gonna love you no matter what. No matter how it came into this world and how much pain you endured. But overall, everything's great. Great with me, great with him, and we're just happy and tired over here. Lack of sleep, you know the game. Anyhow, if you have any questions about it or similar experiences, let me know in the comments below. If not, I'll see you on my next video for his 1 week update. That's my next one I'm filming. I'm doing it today, because if I don't, I'm going to be too tired. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.